What's up, everyone? This is Alex. I'm in Georgia still, so Gamarjoba, Eastern European country here, enjoying a late evening stroll in a park, as I often do, and thought a good topic of discussion today would be setting goals and clarifying what works and what doesn't work in the world of setting goals and why they're important. So back in the old caveman days, we didn't really need to set goals because we were too busy running after woolly mammoths or running away from saber-toothed tigers and dealing with our own survival, our need to not die. And the environment was such that we never had to think too much and too far in advance and plan too far ahead, because everything that we needed to deal with was urgent and in the moment and right in front of our noses at every given... Suddenly there's a band playing at a very inconvenient moment, but the environment would always make it very urgent in terms of our survival and our needing to deal with the situation at hand. And of course, in the modern world, we don't need to think too much about survival, and we don't need to put too much work into staying alive, because everything is here for us and is comfortable. So the problem with that is that we, as humans, particularly us blokes, need to have some purpose in our lives. We need to have something to aim for. We need a summit on the top of a mountain to have in front of us that we are aiming for, to give our lives purpose and meaning and substance and objectivity. We're not just floating around in space in a meaningless amoeba. We have something that we are moving towards. It just gives life a bit more of a concrete feel, and no matter what the meaning behind that is, we need a goal, and we need possibly several goals. But this is what I wanted to talk about. Is it better to have one or several goals? Well, life is complex, so it's likely the latter, isn't it? We want to have several goals. But I've always been terrible at setting goals. I have achieved some goals, but I haven't achieved most of the goals I've set in the past, and I've seen what works, and when it has worked, I like to deconstruct it and see what were the reasons behind why it worked. And I've gotten better over the years at sitting down and planning in advance what I want to achieve in life, and seeing success in various areas, whether it be writing a book before a particular deadline, or getting a certain amount of content out before a certain time, and enjoying the benefits of doing so, not only in the moment, day by day, but also, achieving particular results, have all come about through setting targets and having a goal in mind. So goals are important, and as I said, they give us meaning and they keep us happy. If we don't have a goal, you might be aware that you're probably not as motivated as you could be. You don't have a sense of aliveness or purpose, which is important. So goals are important, and a lot of people say that goals are not important, and that it's really about the system and the process and the journey and having habits that are more important. But actually it's both, really. We can't enjoy the process or the journey if we don't know where we're going. We need to have some sense of direction. So it's about, and of course it's about developing good habits and developing the right kinds of behaviors in our process that will get us to those goals. So it's both. It's having good goals and good habits. What are the best ways that I have personally found to set goals, and how has it worked for me? So for me, it's very easy, as I've personally found, to overcomplicate things and try and do too many things at once. Whenever I've tried to do too many things at once, of course, I lose the ball entirely and get overwhelmed with the sheer range and variety of things I could be doing, and I sort of give up because it's just too much. And the alternative I've found that has worked really well is to have one key goal in mind at any given point, what I call an apex goal in other articles that I've written, a main, one single goal that matters more than the rest. This doesn't mean that you only have one goal. It means that you have one in a hierarchy, in a kind of a pyramid. You have one goal that sits at the top that is more important, that matters more than any of the other ones. But of course, if you have the discipline to check in every day and remind yourself of what that one key goal is, you're going to put yourself in front of the other list of other goals that you have going on as well. So it's really important that you identify that one key goal that you're working towards at any given time, and you give that goal as much energy and passion behind it as you can. So choose things that are slightly out of reach, or at least feel slightly out of reach, and would be incredible by achieving them and moving towards them. So for me, I like to break goals down into 90-day chunks to make them feel more immediate, and I like to make them as exciting and big as I can, because there's no excitement really in me, there's no motivation so much. I find that it peters out a lot when you go for a goal that is, it's interesting, but it's not incredible. And one of the things that I found really useful is to put yourself in your future self's shoes, and you can apply this to a 5-year goal, you can apply this to a 1-year goal, or a 90-day goal, or a 30-day goal. But let's break things down into 90 days now, and imagine yourself in 90 days, looking back over the last 90 days and thinking to yourself, my God, what a brilliant last 90 days that was. See if you can get emotional about it and really imagine yourself thinking about an absolutely ideal last 3 months. What would those 3 months look like? And obviously there might be several things that have been great that have happened in those last 3 months. But from that list of great things that have happened in the last 3 months, what would be the number one goal that would be the absolute best thing to have happened, the number one result of those last 3 months? And for me, right now, that new goal is a certain income target from my client coaching business. Right now, I need and would be very much motivated by my business being in a different, more expanded place financially. So for me, that is a good enough and exciting enough goal that motivates me for the next 3 months. And I've picked that number one goal as my apex goal for the 90 days, based on an emotional visualization of how good it would be in 90 days to achieve that goal. So I've got this one goal in my mind that is more important than anything else, that I check in with every day for 90 days, or within the 90 days that is going to happen. And that really helps me maintain a sense of urgency with what I do. And I have a habit now of rewriting that one apex goal every day for the 90 days, and then adding in as many other goals as I want as well, that I'm also working on. And I find that the habit of checking in with that 90-day goal as the most important thing leads to me writing down and being familiarized with and being self-aware of all those other goals that are important, whether they be much longer term goals than the 90 days, or goals that I want to achieve within the 90 days. And I found that has been extremely helpful in keeping me aware of what I need to be doing every day that is going to move me closer to those goals. But rather than having a big massive goals in my head and giving up because it's so overwhelming, or not setting any targets whatsoever, and then of course suffering the consequences of meandering through life and being directionless, I have that one apex goal, and I have a habit that takes me to that one goal and reminds me of that one main goal, and making sure that one goal is exciting and interesting and is a bit of a stretch. And of course, being there and showing up for that one goal is going to remind me of the existence of all the other goals. So before my time window runs out, and I know that I'm getting close to the end here, focus on your one apex goal, and I would suggest breaking down your goals into 90-day chunks. And if anything, if you don't end up doing anything else, focus on one goal, one key gold goal that you make sure happens over anything else within the next 90 days. What is that one apex goal going to be for your 90 days? Let me know if you have any questions about goals. Let's continue this discussion. What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? Always keen to hear about ideas for new things I can discuss with you guys. And like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.